because most of you all have never conducted a tech interview. So you don't even know what to expect. So therefore, you're afraid of even attempting going after roles that may even require more experience than you currently have. Meanwhile, some bimbo who doesn't even have half the skill, half the experience you have, applies for that role and ends up getting it because they face their fears. But I kind of want to walk you all through what the interview process is like because I don't see many. I think many of you newbies don't know what's on the inside of what's on the other side of getting into your first cloud tech career position. You don't really know what that process looks like. To successfully go through an interview phase, multiple interview phases. And I'm someone who went through hundreds of interviews. Okay, of in my past 5 year career, 5 6 year career, and I've been at 5 different organizations throughout these 5 6 years. So I know a little bit. All right, about these. So all right, and I've helped others get through their interviews. But so here's a process. All right, the process goes as so. Usually, you're going to have 4 rounds of interviews. All right, 4 rounds. All right, y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? I need to see some comments. I need some. Just say ready. Just say that you're ready in the comments so that I know y'all ready for what I'm about to do. You got your notes out. Ready for the interview process, and I'm going to teach you how to ace this interview process. Jasmine, I know you ready because you sober. Mm, okay, 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 Justin. Okay, let's go then. Okay, so you're usually going to have 4 rounds of interviews, and here's how they go. You should not approach each one the same. That is the worst that you can do. All right. Usually, the first round of interviews occurs with a recruiter reaching out to you via email or via LinkedIn. All right, or they'll call you. All right. Usually the best kind of pitches or most the best kind of leads to pursue because all type of foreign recruiters or even some miscellaneous recruiters will flood your inbox up. But usually the legit ones hit your LinkedIn. They hit your LinkedIn and they're working for a familiar company, a company that you can research. They're not just saying I'm an entrepreneur or I'm a recruiter at USA or whatever. They work for an actual recruitment company that you can research. All right, you know, they're persons from your actual country that you can relate to. Right, and those are usually credible persons because LinkedIn has this verification process as well, and it does pretty good against eliminating spam. So usually, if a recruiter hits your LinkedIn DM, your money, or if they hit your Indeed DM, that's usually money. I mean, that's a lead that you might want to act on. All right. Now, they may call your phone. As I always say, when they call your phone, make them send you an email so you can check out the job. And most importantly, so you can really check them out. You want to see if this is a legit person that you're giving your information to, or just wait, you're not wasting your time sending a confirmed right to represent email, blah, 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 answering questions, da, 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 da. So number one is but that's going to be usually your hardest step is getting past the recruiter. All right. The tech recruiter. And this is where your certifications and your projects come into play when you lack a lot of hands-on experience, because those credentials can get you past that qualifier round. Because that's most of these tech recruiters aren't tech persons. They don't know anything about code. They don't know about infrastructure as code. If you put a piece of code in front of them, in most cases, they wouldn't know how to debug any kind of cloud resource. They can't tell you the difference between a security group and a VM, you know. But that's not what they're there for. They're really salespersons, and having a really good recruiter is like having a really good tax person. They're important, especially when they're good. All right, because they have really good job leads. They get to know you very well, and most importantly, they have a tight relationship with the employers who are their clients. All right, they may be different, especially if they're a recruiter and for working for a recruitment firm, and they work with many different clients. Those are great recruiters to have, um, as well as recruiters who actually work internally with the company. Those are also the best. Those are the great recruiters to talk to because you're talking to somebody that has inside intel on the job. But so this is what, again, your certs and your projects come into play because they don't know this stuff. All they know is a checklist that a hiring manager, someone gave them to run down and make sure this person has most of these. All right. Now you want to work with a crew recruiter. You want to have a good relationship, build a good rapport, and talk with a recruiter who's acknowledging that you have most of what they're looking for. Don't waste your time with a recruiter who's looking for you to match each and every item on there. Because if they're looking for you to match each and item on there, they don't know what kind of talent they're really looking for, and they don't know the job well enough, and don't have a great relationship with the hiring manager. And therefore, when you submit your materials to them, they're not going to be able to sell you well to get interviewed by the hiring manager. All right. So that's going to be the key difference. And being able to help you would differentiate a legitimate recruiter versus a recruiter that's likely going to waste your time. All right. Um, because again, they look at those stats. So yes, your certs matter. Yes, your projects matter. All right. Because you can just keep stacking projects on there and it makes up as your work experience. Even if you've done it while working at a company and the company itself might not have had you exactly do those tasks, but you still know how to do that work and can easily communicate it in an interview. Yeah, I did it while I was at this company. Doesn't mean you did it for the company. You did it while you were working at the company. You might have did it after hours, before hours, whatever, lunch break, whatever. So that's number one is different, making qualifying the recruiter, qualifying to get past the recruiter, and making sure that you're dealing with a quality recruiter who has quality leads. That's going to be your number one job. All right. Always research a recruiter. Make sure they're coming from a legitimate company, and then make sure that they're not asking you to have everything they're looking for. They ask you that everything that they're looking for. They say you got to have everything, and don't do it. It's going to be a waste of time. They don't know the person's hiring that well, and it's just going to be a waste of time. So, all right, if you're ready for number two, the second step in the interview, and then usually it's only going to be like a 15-minute call. And that's another thing. I hate getting on the phone with recruiters and I know that they're going to waste my time and they want to talk for a long time. Usually, if a recruiter message you, especially if they hit you on LinkedIn, what have you, usually if they're a good recruiter, they've been doing this thing for a minute, they got good connections with the hiring manager, etc. They're going to uh, they're going to give you they're just going to want your resume. They can look over it easily and see if you will qualify for the role or not. They'll tell you off rip if the hiring manager will want to see you or not. All right. Otherwise, they're going to want to say, well, we got to do a phone process. It's probably going to take 15 or 20 minutes. I got to have you video on camera. Da, 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 da. When you're somebody seasoned like me, I don't have time for that because I'd rather deal with a seasoned recruiter. But if you're a newbie coming in, go through it. All right. Because you're not seasoned yet. You don't know enough yet. So you need to go through that process. All right. Um, all right. So if you're ready for number two, put two in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Janice, she ready. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody, she's sober and ready. The rest of y'all, Justin and Cortez is like, do duels, workout, drinking liquor. Yeah, I'm gonna sweat. So I appreciate y'all for being patient with me. All right, cool. So number two. Mm, now this is the good stuff. This is the money now. Now we starting to get to the money round. Getting through the recruiters is always a hard part because you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a princess. All right. But when you get a good recruiter that passes you on to the hiring manager, they pass your resume on to the hiring manager, now you're cooking. Now the grease is starting to get warm because the hiring manager can actually make a decision to pass you on. Now you're actually interviewing. At first, you were qualifying with the recruiter. Now you're actually interviewing to talk to the hiring manager. Now, here's the thing with the hiring manager. The hiring manager, let me switch banners up here. So with the hiring manager, all right, um, the hiring manager is so it's not going to be a technical interview with the hiring manager. The hiring manager really just wants to know if you're a professional and if you have enough technical chops to be able to perform the role. So they're not going to be checking, going down your resume and checking line by line by line, asking you to prove